You're gonna kill me? Here? Now?
Yes.
Please do. Doesn't have to be so much pain.
Yes.
Reporting from Station 8 at 1100 hours, recorded this the 10th of October in the year 1940. Case file 63708NH90. The missing numbered so far at 257-257. This matter is to be classified.
We have been blessed with the opportunity to take a legend and turn it into recorded history.
Today's all about packing up and shipping out. We'd like to make as much ground as we can before dark.
According to this, the trailhead's right here.
Nobody will talk to us.
There is no trailhead.
But there is a trailhead.
There's even a marker. It says Yellowbrickroad.
Did someone tell you all not to talk to us?
If you live in town long enough, you know the real reason they walked. You feel like the trail will understand you. That it does.
There's no place like home.
Hi everyone, welcome to day 22 of my 31 Days of Horror, and today I've just finished watching Yellowbrickroad. Yellowbrickroad came out in 2011. It's written and directed by Holland and Andy Mitton. It stars the likes of Clarke and Cassidy Freeman, Anessa, Ramsey. But before I go any further into who's in it and what they play and this, that, the other, I have got a great intro by two of the actors who I've just mentioned.
I'm Cassidy
Clarke
Freeman, and I play Aaron
and Daryl
Luger.
Happy Halloween.
So that was Cassidy and Clarke Freeman, and a big thank you to you two guys for doing that intro for me. I appreciate it. I know a lot of people who watch these videos are appreciating all these intros that the special guests are doing for me. So many thanks for doing that. And as for you guys watching this review, please click the links down below to Cassidy and Clarke. Check out the IMDb pages and Twitter pages and everything else that I can find. Give them as much love and support as you can, guys. But yeah, thanks a lot, Cassidy and Clarke, for doing that for me. So the film itself, it's a strange one. And when I say strange, it's extremely strange in that it's one of those movies that comes out every now and again and you have to watch it more than once. And even when you've watched it half a dozen times, if not more like I have, it's still a difficult one to assess. Now, I have done an interview with Andy Mitton and Holland. Now, the links are down below. That'll take you to my website. I've tried to get to the bottom of what this movie is actually about. And I don't want to give too much away yet because I really want you guys to go out and watch it because, like I said, it's one that is very hard to assess. But basically, best way to do this is to read you a synopsis. In 1940, the entire population of Friar, New Hampshire, walked up a winding mountain trail, leaving everything behind. In 2008, the first official expedition into the wilderness attempts to solve the mystery of the lost citizens of Friar. So the movie revolves around Teddy Barnes. Now, Teddy Barnes is played by an actor called Michael Lorino. Now, Teddy Barnes and his small group of merry men, if you will, they're all out and about looking to solve the puzzle of the missing people of Friar. And along the way, they encounter strange happenings within the forest, if you will. Now, it's not a found footage film by any means, so as soon as I said, you know, forest and this, that, the other, it's not a found footage film. But it's a film which plays on the emotions of the characters in the film. Now, as the title says, it's Yellowbrickroad. So there's a lot of innuendos to, obviously, the film The Wizard of Oz. And when you watch the film Yellowbrickroad, you start to try and find these little nods of the head, if you will, to The Wizard of Oz, such as the Yellowbrickroad itself. Now, there is a place in these woods, so-called Yellowbrickroad, but they don't know what it is. Now, at the beginning of the film, we see Teddy and his crew. They're looking at maps, looking at the historical events of the 1940s when these people went missing. And basically they end up going to New Hampshire, Friar, where there's a cinema complex. But there's one girl in particular, I think she's like an usherette if you will, and she works at the cinema. And she actually says to Teddy Barnes, take me with you, I can show you where the Yellowbrickroad is, I can find the answers, help you find the answers. So obviously it's something he has to do, he has to take her with her, because if she's got this information, use it. So this usherette joins along. Now, as the film gets deeper into it and we see Teddy and his crew, they're all happy to begin with, they're all joking, they're all doing their own thing because they've all got their own specialist ways about them. You've got one girl who's basically using like geolocation, using GPS to map where they are. You've got a guy who knows all about what you can eat and what you can't eat in the woods. You know, and you've got people like that. You've got a psychologist who's in it, who every day monitors the mental awareness of each and every one of them. So everybody's got their own little thing to do in this film. But as they get further into the forest, tensions start to become fraught. They start falling out with each other. They start to distrust each other. Weird things start to happen. There's a scene in this film, guys, where Daryl Luger, played by Clarke Freeman, who you've seen in the intro. Now, Daryl, he finds this old hat, and he puts his hat on, and it's not long before he starts acting a little bit crazy and a little bit strange within the group. And everybody keeps saying to him, take the hat off, take it off. You know, you're acting crazy, you're acting strange, and he won't take it off, you know. And he's just basically being a bit of a dick of himself, if you will, in the film. But you don't know if it's the hat that's making him do it. Has he been possessed by whatever it is in the forest? We don't know. Or is it just the way he is in the film? But things kick off and he ends up attacking another character in the camp. Now, I don't want to give too much away about that because, again, I don't want to give too much away about the entire film unless you've seen it. But he does attack one member in particular in this group, and it gets a bit gruesome at this stage. So he runs into the forest. Daryl disappears into the forest, and two of the other camp members go off after him. But this is where things start to take a sinister turn for the worse. In the forest, they start to hear creepy music. That's the only way I can put it. And it's like 1920s, 1930s dance music, if you will. I don't mean dance music as in like what we have nowadays, guys, but you know what I mean. It's like what people used to dance to in the 1920s, 30s, ballroom dancing. There's singing in the background, and this music is getting louder and louder and louder throughout the film. And it seems to be that the further on in the forest this group go, and the madder they get, I should say, throughout the film, this music seems to accompany it, and it gets louder. So each step of the way to whatever they're encountering seems to get louder. Teddy Barnes, throughout the film, is insistent that they keep on going, they don't deviate, but the GPS locations on the maps also start to fluctuate. 1 minute they're in Guam, then they're in somewhere in America, then they're elsewhere, and but the GPS isn't matching up to where they should be at that time. It's completely off the beaten track. As this music's getting louder, and as the campmates, if you will, are starting to get a little bit more distrusting each other, if you will, and they start to fall out with each other, other things start to happen. And there's one scene in it where the music gets really loud, like somebody scratched the record, if you will, and it's really loud and muffling, and they're all holding their ears and they're all trying to come to the senses. We see a scene where one of the camp members, she's like a scarecrow, if you will, and she's pinned up against this backdrop of trees that have been cut over and bushes, and it's like a dead end. It's like the Yellowbrickroad ends where the scarecrow is of one of the camp members. But is that the start of the Yellowbrickroad, or is it the end of the Yellowbrickroad? Again, it's something you have to watch. Now, at this point, people are going mental, they're going crazy. Like I said, they're literally lashing out with each other. And it's all because they're lost in the woods. This creepy music's building up and playing up all the time. And basically, they're running out of rations, they're running out of food, water, and everything is conspiring against them. So there's one scene that, you know, towards the middle to end of the film where Teddy says to his wife, played by Anessa, Ramsey, and he says, look, you know, we'll keep on going. We're near at the end. We've basically nearly solved the puzzle. Once we get over this barrier, if you will, over this closed off road where all these trees are and bushes, once we get over there, we should be able to find the ultimate answer to what happened all those years ago. But what he's doing is basically trying to make peace with her and everybody else. And he does one, and during the night, he goes off on his own over this wall, and away he goes. Now, she wakes up the next morning, and she's having these dreams of her name being called out. But when she wakes up, he's gone. Teddy's disappeared, basically. This is where the film, again, takes another sinister turn in that 2 other camp members disappear off into the woods. They go their own way to try to get back to civilization. And the guy's having all these sick thoughts of what he's going to do to this other lady. He's going to kill her, he's going to beat her up, he's going to be cruel to her. And he says to her at one point, you're going to have to kill me, because if not, I'm going to be really mean to you. Again, I'm not going to say what and what, you know, why he's being like this with her. You have to watch it. But it's a twisted, messed up film, guys. And now we also see Teddy later on in the film, and he's on his walkie-talkie trying to contact his wife. And all she can hear is like the feedback on the radio. He's talking into it from wherever he is, but all she's hearing is interference. So he thinks he's getting his message across that, you know, he loves her and he apologises for leaving her and this, that, the only if he doesn't see her again, he will always love her. Because obviously he doesn't know what awaits him at the end of the Yellowbrickroad. Now, if I go too far with this film, guys, and I set you what the ending is about, I would be lying, because there's a lot of different endings to this film. Even though it only ends in one way, the way you interpret this film is how you watch it from beginning to end. It is one of those unique films. There is no definitive ending to it. It's a crazy ending. Let me just say that Teddy does reappear back in the cinema where he started the old journey with his friends. He appears back in the cinema, but things are different. Like, there's a bellboy there dressed in old-fashioned, like 1920s, 30s, I think it is, or maybe 40s, you know, cinema outfits. There's an old projector playing a movie on the screen. But this projector, it's like, basically it's showing Teddy his own fate, if you will. He sees his wife up on screen. He sees all these dead bodies sat around him, but as spirits. And it's a messed up film. But it's like he is now looking at his own fate. And there is no clear answer to why all these people disappeared in the 40s. We don't know why they all disappeared. That's left up to the imagination of the viewer. It's a film that I started watching back in 2011 when it first came out. And me and my daughter have watched it many times. And each time we watch it, we always seem to pick up on something different that we didn't pick up on previously. And like I said, we must have watched it a dozen times, and each and every time we pick up on something, it might be just a phrase, it might be just, you know, one scene in particular that we didn't really grasp, and it hits you. It is one of those films, as I keep saying. So please, guys, if you've not seen Yellowbrickroad, please try and find it. It's not easy to pick up here in the UK, I will say that, as a physical copy. As you can see, the copy I've got in front is a Blu-ray. Now, this Blu-ray I had to get off eBay, and it's a German import. Everything's written in German on the back, apart from the title. On the front, it's written in German, again, apart from the title. But I had to pay quite a bit for that. I think I paid about 12, 14, 15 pounds for this, because it's a German import. Very difficult to get in the UK, guys, on Blu-ray. DVD, you may be able to pick it up now in like second-hand shops like CEX or That's Entertainment, places like that. Alternatively, you might be able to get it on streaming sites, you know, Netflix or maybe iTunes, places like Google Play. But please try and go out and find it, guys. You won't be disappointed in it. It's a one of its own. It really is a unique movie. So please, guys, go out and try and find it, and then let me know what you thought. If you have seen Yellowbrickroad or you've read reviews, tell me what you think down below. Tell me what you thought about it. But in the meantime, guys, this is day 22 of my 31 Days of Horror. As you know, it's all for Bleakholt Animal Sanctuary. Put your hand in your pockets, help raise a few quid to the charity. They need the help, they need the food, the bedding, they need, you know, extra help paying for wages, maintenance, everything else. The links are down below, guys. Check them out and do what you can to help. As I always say, guys, thanks for watching this short review. I know I've droned on a little bit about it without giving too much away, but I don't want to give too much away because it's such a good film. But thanks again for watching, guys. And as I always say, take care and look after yourselves.